All right, good morning, boys and girls. This week we are starting something called order of operations. When we look here and it says, what is order of operations? We know order is how the order you put something in, meaning the steps you take or the right way to do things. And then an operation in math is a mathematical operation, meaning
It's 11 o'clock.
thank you, smartboard, meaning parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So for the next 2 weeks, we are going to be focusing on the order of operations. So, what is the correct way to solve a multi-step mathematical expression? That's what this means. I have posted every day for the next 2 weeks a YouTube video that goes with the lesson. You must watch the video with each lesson because it's going to be piggybacking on the lesson before. I'm posting this lesson for you today on a Sunday, so you have 2 full weeks to refer back to this specific lesson with me speaking. Because I think it's important that you hear my voice and what I say and how I do things. I am not expecting you to be able to solve every expression with this formula from day one. After 2 full weeks, I do expect you to solve it. Now, there's a key, or what's the right word I'm looking for? There is just the way that this needs to be done is to get the correct answer. Okay? If you do the operations wrong, the answer is not going to come out correctly. So I'm going to set up my mouse. Okay? Okay, let's see. All right. What are these things called, Miss Camastro? All right. These are called parentheses, brackets, and braces. Parentheses, brackets, and braces. And braces, brackets, and parentheses. Okay? We're not going to touch base on this till the last day, but under parentheses, there are parentheses, brackets, and braces. Okay? At the end of this 2 weeks, so I'm showing this to you so you could see with the end in mind what your end goal is going to be. You're going to be able to solve an equation that has these 3 types of parentheses. So parentheses, brackets, and braces. You work from the out to in, out to in. We're not going to touch base on these until later, but I want you to see it. Parentheses, brackets, braces. They fall under parentheses. I just want to repeat that again. They look pretty though, don't they? Okay. So now, if I said to you, you know how I am with my text, okay? So I'm going to give you an expression, okay, using PEMDAS. Clearly, I can't type today. Okay. 5 times 2 plus 6. I'm just going to leave this right here because at first I want to go over what PEMDAS is. When you are solving using PEMDAS, okay, you start with your parentheses always. So what's in your parentheses? Brackets or braces, which we'll touch base on the end. Then we go to exponents, multiplication and division, and addition and subtraction. Now, the key to the order of operations, how about the key to Miss Camacho remembering how to use Smart Notebook? Is that multiplication and division, oh my God, and addition and subtraction work together. What does that mean, Miss Camacho? That means when you have an operation, addition and subtraction, or multiplication and division can be, they work together. So you solve from left to right. Let me show you what that means, okay? So I put the boxes around the M and the D and the A and the S because even though PEMDAS has the M first and the D second, in the way we remember it, in an equation, if division is first, you do division from first from left to right. Okay. So again, I have 5 times 2 plus 6. This is clear to see that multiplication comes first. So in your parentheses, multiplication comes first, then addition. There's no question here. So you would do 5 times 2 equals 10 plus 6 equals 16. That is your answer. We see that here. So we see this here. It matches our rules. Now, let's look at an expression that works with the same rules, but division comes before multiplication. So we have to do that first. So let me give you an expression. All right, so 10 divided by 2 times 3. If we look here, right? Let's point my arrows to look there. Say, what does this mean to me? Miss Camacho, what does this mean? This means when in an expression, when multiplication and division are together, you solve from left to right. That's always the rule. It doesn't just work on a Monday or a Tuesday. You know, we're not just going to follow this on a Friday morning. It's always the case. If you have multiplication and division comes first, you work from left to right. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's just highlight it. That'll be easier. Okay. So 10 divided by 2 is 5 times 3 equals 15. We worked from left to right. Now, if you tried to solve this with multiplication first, it wouldn't even work. You'd have 10 divided by 6. You would not get a whole number, and this would not solve correctly. I'm going to put a line here. Line there. Now, let's look at an expression that has addition and subtracting with multiplication and division. Okay, we have 5 plus 3. Let's do 5 plus 5. I'm making the numbers easy so you could see how this works before we make the numbers complicated. 10. All right, so what do we see first here? Okay, we're going to say to ourselves, what do I see first? I see parentheses, right? We always solve parentheses first. Always are solved first. Now, even though the expression in the parentheses is addition, your parentheses is first. So step 1, you're going to solve 5 plus 5. Whoops. And you get 10. Okay? That is step 1. So if I were to rewrite this, 10 divided by 2 times 5. We say to ourselves, once we solve the expression in the parentheses, we drop them. We drop the parentheses. So we have 10 divided by 2 times 5. 10 divided by 2 times 5. This looks very similar to something we just solved. So we're going to ask ourselves, what operation is first from left to right? It is division and then multiplication. Even though we have MD, they're interchangeable, so it could be DM. So 10 divided by 2 is 5 times 5 equals 25. Following the steps in order is important. I'm going to say to you, do you have any questions for me? That's what I'm going to ask you. And then I'm going to say to you, things to remember. Order of operations is a formula, right, that is used to solve multi-equation math problems, okay? You must follow the steps in order, or you will not get the correct answer. Something else to remember. Even though the chart says MD and AS, multiplication and division and addition, can't spell obviously, and subtraction work together. Meaning, if both equations are together in a problem, you solve from left to right. This is day 1, boys and girls. Don't expect any. I'm an adult and it took me a long time to get PEMDAS. PEMDAS, PEDM, blah, 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 right? We have all these letters we have to memorize. So we have a whole 2 weeks to memorize this. This is just going to be a little cheat video for Miss Camastro. So you hear my blah, 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 I can't talk this Sunday morning. So you hear my voice in your head. PEMDAS, right? PEMDAS. When I was in school, we were taught, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. P for please, E for excuse, M for my, D for dear, A for aunt, S for Sally. But again, M and D, A and S, they could be changed depending on the equation, and you work from left to right. So I am going to include the link for this in the Google Classroom. You have the question forum for Google Docs. And I hope this helps. We will have our Google Meet in a little bit.